Massiva, this is LaserBolt, and welcome to today's video, guys. Today, I'm going to give you guys the easiest and simplest guide for the Eye of the Storm. I know when you actually join someone or you try to see someone play it, it might be a little bit overwhelming, but today I want to give you guys a super easy guide that's going to help you understand the mechanics, understand how to play it, and in the future, if you guys would like to see builds for each individual character, let me know. We'll make sure to get those out for you guys. So today, I present you guys my Eye of the Storm for Dummies. So if all of this sounds like something you're definitely interested, a like would be greatly appreciated, and let's talk about the Eye of the Storm. Now, the reason we decided to put this video together is because when we were streaming and helping people carry them in the Eye of the Storm, a lot of people didn't know the mechanics, so I thought this would be a very good idea to give you guys a reference point on how to play it and get ready for when you have it. So, quick recap, guys. If you have not have access to the Eye of the Storm, you first need to complete all challenge tiers from 1 through 15. Once you get to 15, it will automatically unlock the Eye of the Storm. The Eye of the Storm is the end game of all end games. So what exactly happens in the Eye of the Storm? Well, let's talk about it. So what's going to happen in the Eye of the Storm, you're going to get presented when you log in and you remove the big pile of rocks that are right in front of you. You're going to see a big map with a big sphere in the middle. Within that sphere, there's going to be a boss that's trapped in. In order for us to actually get access to the boss, we're going to have to do certain mechanics to be able to get access to him. Now, this boss will look very familiar because he is the last boss we fight in the campaign. Now, these pillars are going to be situated in 3 different corners. I'm going to put this picture up for you guys so you guys can see the overlay map. So you guys can get an overhead view of what the map looks like and identify each pillar where it's located. Now, the reason I did this is because each pillar will have different ads that spawn from each individual section. And I would suggest doing a pillar at a time, especially if you're new. Theoretically, you could do like if you're running in a group of 3, each one could do a set of pillars, but that's going to be for more advanced users. Now, for those of you guys who are new, you're going to want to do 1 pillar at a time. Now, each pillar, like I said, will spawn different enemies. The first pillar that we have in front of us, which we will call Pillar 1, this is in particular, it's not a very difficult one. You're just going to be dealing with a bunch of ads coming your way, mostly melee ads. If you are familiar, if you ever played any of the campaign missions or any of the side missions, you're going to be dealing with queens. You're also going to be dealing with Moldfangs. You're also going to be dealing with a little bit of Wendigos. You're going to be dealing also with some Perfora, and you're also going to be doing with the ugly ones, Alpha Perfora. Now, the most annoying things out of here are the flying beasts. That's what I call them, guys, because they are extremely annoying. They shoot toxic at you. What I'm going to give you, this is going to be a very helpful tip, guys. Make sure you guys pay close attention to. Just kill one of these, because if you kill both of them, 2 more are going to spawn. So what I would suggest, especially if you're playing this solo, just kill one of it, and then it'll just leave 1 in the battlefield. Basically, all you got to do is kind of dodge the toxic. And after you kill the first wave, you can just kind of hide behind the pillar and avoid that toxin from hitting you, or just run circles around the platform and avoid the toxin. If you just leave 1 alive, the other 2 will not spawn. So just make sure that is a helpful tip for you guys. Now, pretty much, it's pretty simple. If you've done any expeditions, you already know the mechanics. We have to bring down the pillar. Once that pillar comes down, we pretty much finish that phase, and we are good to go to the next pillar. Now, it takes 1.5 minutes to bring down each pillar. So if you're doing this solo, don't expect a gold clear. But if you're doing it with a team, you're definitely going to want to divide yourselves per each individual pillar. So that's the first pillar. Now, moving on to the second pillar, which is extremely in front of the first one, which we call Pillar B. Now, this particular pillar is going to spawn the same type of ads. The only difference from the same type of ads that it's spawning is that it won't have one of the big Alpha Perforas, but it will have a couple of crawlers. Now, the crawlers are really annoying because the crawlers are the ones that shoot that laser beam that, kind of freezes you. And within this stage, you're going to see a total of 2 of these. If you're playing solo, a total of 3 of these if you're playing with a group. Now, these are going to be annoying because they're slow. They take forever to get there, so they're going to be kind of spamming that laser. What I like to do is I actually like to go kill them first, and then come back to the pillar and kill the rest of the ads. Other than that, guys, that's just pretty much it. It's pretty much the same ads that are coming your way when it comes to this particular pillar. Once again, 1.5 minutes, and once again, the helpful tip: kill the stupid flies that are shooting the toxic at you. Just kill one of them and kind of dodge the other one, so you won't spawn multiple of these. And that is the most effective way of actually doing it. Now, moving on to Pillar C, which is going to be the one that's the top behind, kind of in front of the rock. Now, this one in particular, it spawns the same amount of ads. It doesn't spawn, the good thing, it doesn't spawn the crawler, but it does spawn the Behemoth. Now, the Behemoth is actually pretty annoying as well because this one will rush you, very tanky, but you're able to actually clear this one really, really easily. You are going to get a lot of Alpha Perforas, but you won't get the big super, the big Perfora that's really annoying. You won't get getting that one, but you will be getting a lot of Alpha Perforas, and you will also be getting a couple of Wendigos, and of course, you will be getting the Moldfangs, which are the annoying little creatures that inflict bleed on you. This one's actually, I would believe, the easiest one out of all of them, due to the fact that this one, luckily, and I wish they would all be like this, they don't spawn the annoying fly toxin ones. So this is actually, I believe, for me personally, this is the easiest one because I don't have to deal with those annoying little pesky guys. I just have to deal with clearing the ads. And that is the mechanics of the pillar. That's pretty easy, especially if you've done expeditions. This shouldn't be very hard for you guys. You should be able to clear this out very easily and have a good run. Now, here is where it comes the tricky part, because once we spawn the main boss, this is where things get a little bit interesting. So the boss has a total of 4 different phases, and you're able to identify this based on his health bar. There's going to be phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4. Now, before we get into his phases, I do want to talk about one of the most annoying things about this boss is that when he goes into his phase of where he has like this blue aura around him, if you guys don't cancel that aura, he is going to spawn 2 little white balls, which I like to call blights. Now, these particular blights are the most annoying thing because they're going to be shooting, they're like little shooting turrets. They're like basically little turrets in the battlefield. And every time he does that, kind of aura around himself, he's going to spawn a blight. So if you are not removing these blights from the ground or canceling his summoning stage, you're going to get a bunch of little blights showing up around the map, and these are going to be very difficult for you to avoid. I would recommend getting acquainted with the rock that's behind the column C, which is the one we did earlier, because this rock is going to save you. It's kind of keep you from getting shot from these blights, but you're going to want to be able to remove each individual blight. Now, these blights are extremely strong, and you cannot shoot them with a rifle. It's going to take forever. You cannot shoot them with your abilities. They're very tanky. So the only way you're actually able to remove these is doing either a very strong damage of effect, which would be with mods like Opening Shot, the Moaning Winds, which are really effective on killing multiple blights and getting rid of these. So now that you understand the annoying part of it, let's talk about the phases. So phase 1, when he is able to go down to a quarter of a health, he's going to spawn 2 additional enemies. Now, these 2 additional enemies are another set of annoying enemies. These are by far the most hardest and difficult ones because these 2 are 2 enemies that will follow you around the battlefield and melee you like crazy. Not only that, but they have an amazing leaping ability that if you don't run really fast, they're going to leap towards you and hit you and melee you with a sword, and they are extremely annoying. Basically, I think everybody should be able to get to this part, and this is probably where the majority, I'm going to say about 80% of the people end up dying because these guys are annoying as heck. Now, once you guys go ahead and kill these annoying enemies or melee enemies, there's only 2 of them, you are then going to continue the same pattern you did to start killing him, which is just DPSing him and getting rid of the little white balls, which is the little annoying blights. Once you guys get that, you're going to bring him down to another quarter of a health. He is then once again going to spawn these annoying, pesky little melee guys. Yes, guys, you have another phase of the melee guys, which are extremely annoying. You're then going to have to do the same thing. Get rid of them as quickly as you possibly can. Get rid of the both of them. And then it's back to phase number 3. Now, for phase number 3, he actually doesn't summon the melee guys. He actually summons other sets of enemies. And these are particular enemies that are kind of covered within a protective bubble. Now, the only way you're able to get them off the protective bubble is if you either do one of your abilities or kind of, interrupt them and break that bubble. Now, when you break that bubble, you are then going to have to go ahead and do damage and kill them. So that is phase number 3. Once again, it's back to killing the blights and doing DPS damage to him again. And then we have the 4th phase. On the 4th phase, he does the same thing, spawns the same ads with that nice little bubble cover of shield. You're then, once again, guys, going to want to bring their shields down, do damage, DPS them, and take them out. Now to the final stage. Now, in the final stage, he becomes really annoying because he starts spawning blights all over himself. He usually spawns, when he goes into the phase where he calls the enemies, spawns a total of 6 of them. When he goes into this phase, you want to make sure you kill him as quickly as you possibly can, especially on the 4th stage, so he could stop spawning these blights and you could take him out really fast and really easily. The best tip I would recommend for this particular phase is make sure you guys become acquainted with the rock. Use the rock as cover. If there's blights that spawn on the left and on the right, take those out and then just worry about DPSing. If you get overwhelmed by the people who are the melee ones, just try to run far back as much as you can and take them out and then come back, clear out the blights, and then go back to the DPS phase. So that pretty much gives you guys an overall idea of how the Eye of the Storm works and how to be able to complete it. Now, if you guys would like to see guides for each individual class, let me know what class you're having the most difficulty with, and I would be more than glad to actually put a guide for you guys so you guys can know exactly what you need to take into the battlefield and what you need to get completed. Now, if you did find this guide helpful and informative, do me a huge favor, guys. Drop a like and drop a comment, but most importantly, subscribe to the channel. Turn on those notifications. If you're planning on needing help with the Eye of the Storm, make sure you guys check us out while we stream every day except Saturday, so you guys can get some help with the Eye of the Storm or some CT clears. I do hope you guys are enjoying our Outriders coverage. If you are, guys, don't forget to check out the other 2 videos that are popping on the screen. Big shout out and thank you for all of you guys who have supported live on stream. You guys are awesome. Couldn't do this without you guys, so thank you very much. I will see you guys on the next video. Take care and talk to you guys later.